Junior men's C1 spread right across the course.
This race will be 4 laps, 3 portages.
Ray from Spain next to Czech Pinkas. Closest to us from Bulgaria, Nanchev. Europeans, Poland 1 and 2, Hungary 3 and 4. Away they're going. It's Poland at the top of the screen who makes the first break. Already coming across the field and causing problems for those who he's passing. Check 180 there, Pinkas. Looking strong at this stage.
Spain's Alberto Ruiz.
Venezuela from Chile, and that's the Ukrainian. The Ukrainian leads from Poland, Hungary, closest to us, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, and Chisholm hanging in there for Great Britain. You can see how hard it is to steer on that side of the wave, but he's doing a good job of it.
Black boat at the back of this bunch, busy cutting in front of the
Japanese
competitor in the white C1.
So this is going to get a bit close quarters any minute now. Bulgaria and Great Britain look like they're going to be pretty close to each other. But at the moment, the Bulgarian giving Chisholm from Great Britain a lovely V-wash in there between two boats.
Now we have a turn to present the athletes once again, as we did before. Number 171, Stoselov Desetno, Martin Nanchev, Bulgaria, 172. Stoselov Desetno, Christian Kubica Polska. Stoselov Deset 100.
Spain and Spain at the front of the race. Because in the Czech Republic.
From the left, we've got Hungary, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Great Britain, Poland, Hungary, and Poland. Getting a bit uncomfortable in the back of that group. Chisholm coming around the left side. Not sure that was a voluntary move or whether his boat was just pushed out in that direction. He's got a little bit of work to do now. Here he comes up the left-hand side of the group again. Recovered well. The Hungarians hoping for what would be their first medal of the day.
Drone is in the air.
Oh, nice.
Love these shots.
So, in the lead there, I think we have Ukraine. Yes, we do. Well organised junior boys C1 race at this stage. Top of the screen though, the two Polish, both Polish athletes, top of the screen. Could have a...
That means we can focus to this race. We can stick to the race 4 laps, 3 portages in one.
I'm counting 3 Polish people, so I know I'm wrong somewhere along the line. I'm mixing someone up. But there's your lead group of 6, and it's Ukraine from Hungary on his left. To the left of Hungary, you've got Great Britain, and to the left of Great Britain, you've got a Czech on the right there. So Pinkas, Ray, Ruiz, Tribulkin, Merry, and Chisholm.
And then followed home by the 2 Poles.
So Poles are, yeah, I'm mixing up Spain and Poland. There's
2 Spaniards.
So they've got 2 Spaniards in there. You told me that ages ago. Thought you were talking rubbish.
Just ignored me.
I just blanked you completely. There's the 2 Poles on the far side. That's where the third one came from. 2 Poles and Hungary on the far side. They're making headway now. It's always deceptive with the camera angles, but I think they're just about 2 lengths down from the leader. Well, at least I got my 2 lengths right.
The good news is that the weather seems to have moved away. So the rain has stopped, the thunder and lightning has stopped, and the conditions are pretty much premium for seaboat racing right now. Let's hope it stays that way for the rest of the afternoon.
So that's essentially the second group there, Poland and Hungary. But they are the athletes with form, and so maybe they're happy to be doing what they're doing right now.
Don't know if Wilbur would be happy there.
Assuming they're doing okay. They're just off the pace of that lead 6 boats, which had Spain, Bulgaria, Great Britain, Ukraine and Czech Republic. There it is. There's your lead group.
Plenty of time for this race to evolve. It's a 4-lap affair, so it's going to be 15 kilometers worth of seaboat racing. You know what you're going to get with the Polish seaboat paddlers. You're going to get.
You can't keep a good pole down, Dave. You know that.
Sound like a telephone company technician.
So definitely Polish are matching them stroke for stroke. They're just a few lengths off the pace, but happy in the clean water and on their first journey down toward the bottom turn. So that lead group, well, they're kind of throwing people all over the place in this group now. Maybe the poles have come up level. It's really hard to tell. Basically, you've got the group of 6 on the right hand side of your picture and the group of 3 on the left. The white boat between there is a little way down on both, not really in the run-in. So we've got 9 in the front group essentially. At some stage one of these groups is going to panic and cut across and try. I think the poles are making headway now.
They are.
It's really hard with the camera angles. Lovely picture though, but it's
Drone
just
shot will
working out.
unpack it nicely.
Working out who's who. Hungarian's just dropped off from the 2 poles. He's trying to come across to the big group, I think, but he's not going to make it. It's going to be tough. So that's Tosa of Hungary off the back of that group.
I think we're heading down to the bottom turn.
While his teammate now leads. That's Merry, Marcel Merry leading. Italian 186 is Lambo. Carlos Lambo. Hard to work out exactly where he is, and it's all change up the front. The Ukrainian is being pinballed to the back of that group. He's lost control of his boat there, and he's struggling for directional stability. Czech's gone back there with him. Chisholm doing a great job at the front, but is going to be pushed out wide on this turn. There he goes. He is well wide on the turn. Just got
super
caught.
wide.
He just got caught by the plume off the back of the Hungarian's boat, but everyone else is going out there also. So he hasn't lost a lot of positions. He's lost a bit of time on the leaders, but position-wise, Chisholm remains, not like the caption says. I think he's in 3rd. It's Ruiz in 2nd.
Marcel Merry leading the C1 men juniors by half a boat length from Alberto Ruiz.
There's Merry, Ruiz, Chisholm
in 3rd.
Pinkas, Vilga, Tribulkin, Kubica, Tosa, and then Ray. Then right back now, the Bulgarian Nanchev in 10th place.
Kubica has a great partnership with.
I'm no expert, but is that an unusual foot position on Chisholm's? His foot is nearly out of the boat there. Is that maybe part of having to steer heavily? We need somebody on the live feed commentary to tell us whether that's a normal thing or whether that's a unique thing to Chisholm, that back foot being so high up in the boat. He's really only clinging on by his big toe.
Maybe it's an extreme steering move to be able to put it on the
Oh, he's got size 28 feet, and the foot does go all the way to the bottom of the boat.
big foot goes sea paddling.
Kind of more normal looking. No, then it's back out the top again. It's wandering all over the
No,
place.
definitely is a foot on the back of that cockpit. Because there's a pronounced roll on that boat with every
Yeah.
stroke.
I think that's trying hard to steer, but looking good for Owen Chisholm from Richmond. The check's done really well to get back to there from where he was. He was all over the place going into the turn. Got right to the back of the group. Now doing well. So this is footage from the motorboat that ploughs up the middle of the river, which is lovely for these four, but maybe not so lovely for the few people behind. So we've got Hungary, Spain, Czech and Great Britain in that first group. No Poles in there at the moment. So you kind of think they're lurking somewhere in the background. They can't be far away.
They're hugging the bank. You can see them coming right in
Here
fact,
we go. They both got pushed out wide on the turn. Pole's coming right to the front. He's overtaken the Czech already, and he might come right through to lead this.
it's a big move up the right-hand bank.
Indeed, he has
And it's
come
shaking
right
this group
through
up.
to the lead. So that's Wilga from Poland. Is exactly like you say, Dave, is shaking it up. The Czech really seems to struggle on the backwashes.
Again, we will welcome this young athlete, C1 juniors. This is the final decision of the World Championships 2020.
Chisholm struggling a bit off the back of these three now. He's struggling in the backwashes, down to fifth.
Competition. Once again, Martin
Alex Wilga was one of those athletes that started really young.
He has been around. We've talked about him for a
Podium
long
last year, he was a
time.
silver medalist last year, and he's back next year as a junior as well. So he's,
Wow.
he'll have a long career as a junior. It underscores how well he's done as a young age.
We've just had a visit from the Admiral of the Slovakian Navy. Came in here, full whites, looks absolutely gorgeous.
Alrighty,
That's excited Dave and myself somewhat, that has.
broke up our spooning session.
He's left his bag in here. We might go through his bag later, Dave.
State secrets in there.
Yeah. So in the race, Wilga came through. He did a lot of damage there. Chisholm now off the pace. We've got the Italian there. That's, he's lost his number, but it's Carlos Lambo. Oh, it could be Cazzola actually, that one. I might be lying to you. But certainly Wilga has just made his mark on this race. He's come through to the front. He shredded the existing front group, and we're down to Spain, Hungary and Poland.
I'm sure he'll take Christian Kubica with him. They're mates, they're paddling partners, they're C2 partners.
Kubica's way down at the moment. You've got the Czech and Chisholm before Kubica, who I think is next. Yeah, he's the one behind Chisholm at the moment, about 5 meters behind Chisholm.
He's sitting sixth.
And there we go. Just to double check also the weather as it looks like. We will only have sun for our best athletes of the world. 12 kilometers and 160 meters to the finish.
Good racing so far from the junior boys.
Junior, C1 man senior short race, C1 man senior short race. These are now the athletes, and they will really
Marcel Mary putting Hungary into a medal winning position for the first time today. Early stages in the race, of course. Bottom end of the course characterized by the reeds on the bank. Very proud of the ecology and preserving it and the same time as the competition this year, there's a conference going on about
Actually, that angle there is a much more realistic angle of the area we're in, rather than the shot we keep getting of the
Completely right,
sort of
Ivan.
industrial stuff on the opposite bank. The feel of the area is much more like the shot you just had looking down the river. It's a really nice little place.
It's a pristine delta.
It's not all
It really
concrete
is.
factories and derelict shipyards. It's a nice place. Czech at the back there, really hanging on to this group. Well, I say really hanging on quite comfortably. And Chisholm's got reorganised, coming back with him as well. It's not over for these two. Still very much in the running.
They're in the economy class seats though. They would love to bridge up to the front.
Yeah. That foot's really bothering me. You can kind of see where the footrest is.
It's in the foam wedge, and the knee's in the foam wedge.
Oh yeah, but the back foot.
It makes sense to me. It would give you added control over the boat if you had a foot sitting on that cockpit lip, rather than sitting on the bottom of the hull. I'm kind of a fan. The boat moves around a lot. The boat rolls a lot.
I just think if my foot was up there that high for that long, I'd put a glove puppet on it or something, so you could at least entertain the crowd with it as it pops its little head up every now and then. So here's your leaders. Mary, Kerasturi Mary, to full name there. Kerasturi. And there's your three leaders. Chisholm relying heavily on the Czech to stay in contact. And I think if you can get round to the first portage, that's another big lap obviously. You're still in with a chance of regaining contact.
Lead boat taking a tight angle around that first turn, boy, as you're entitled to.
Yeah. There's the Pole who suffered there. Again, he was poor on the bottom turn. Now he's poor on this turn.
He's been shrugged off on the outside. Kerasturi Murray. This, of course, is a full lap as the first lap. They went past the portage takeout a minute or two ago. Mary,
Wow,
Ruiz,
it's like a bomb's gone off in the group,
Chisholm,
isn't it? It's just
Pincus.
all of a sudden we're all over the place. It's Mary.
It's all happened at the turn.
It's a single file race again. All of a sudden, we had a group for a whole lap, and now it's single file. Alex Vilga.
In fact, if you cast your eyes downfield, and from our position here, we can look into the back end of the race. This thing is strung out into single file
all
throughout
the way
entire
through.
course. It's going to be well, there's the one exception, of course.
Just
As I open my mouth,
they did that
Spain
deliberately,
comes up
Dave,
onto
to
the
make
wave of
you
Hungary.
look foolish. So Tosa and Ray are together. Quite a long way down. They're in 8th and 9th position. The bad news for Great Britain is Chisholm has lost his ride with Pincus from Czech Republic, and he's on his own in no man's land, being hunted down by Poland and Ukraine, Kubica and Tribulkin.
Love these drone shots, gives you the perfect perspective
Doesn't
of
it?
what's actually happening
Yeah.
in the race. You see those sea boats. I mean, they move under the paddle stroke anyhow, but they swim around, they squirm around on the wave.
There's your two leaders. Ruiz has made contact with Mary again. Didn't take him long to get back either, so that's quite impressive from the Spaniard.
There was a stage when boat manufacturers were quite aggressively talking about coming up with boat designs that offered a minimal wave to to try and make life a little bit more difficult for those sitting on the bunch.
I think certainly the skinny boats, from the new generation, don't wash hang as comfortably as the old wide boats do, whether that's the wave shape itself or whether the wider bit at the back offered more volume for lift from the wave before. So yeah, I don't know. It's a
great shot to be able to unpack that.
So there's your leaders. Aye, Captain. We've lost our opportunity.
Should we have stood up and salute?
We just had a visit from the Admiral again. Sorry for a little chuckle in the commentary box. But he's taking his bag now, Dave, so we can't go through it. But
state secrets are safe.
He did look gorgeous, though.
Worried about you, Lola.
It's like a scene from Officer and a Gentleman, wasn't it? He's in all his whites there. I thought he was going to come and carry me out, take me off to a life of luxury somewhere, but he just took his bag.
I think he took your bag.
He might. Oh no!
I feel obliged to jump up and salute when somebody like that.
Yeah, you do. You did feel like that. So Vilga making his way back again, coming out to the right-hand side, trying to find some smooth water. Unlike the Czech, who's happy just nose to tail behind these guys, but a few lengths back. Vilga coming up again, labouring just a little bit, trying to stay out. He's trying to steer his boat out into that smoother water. And Kubica has caught Chisholm. Chisholm's got another little ride. He's got an opportunity to close a gap on 2 or 3 people in front of him, because Kubica is one of the quality athletes in this field.
He's not sticking around though. He's making it difficult for Chisholm.
Yeah. He was second at the Europeans, ahead of Merry, who's currently winning. Vilga out comfortable now, where he's happy, trying to find the smooth water, and he's done that. The Czech still happy just to ride those tail washes of the 2 boats in front, and looks very comfortable doing it. So the current position is Merry from Hungary, Ruiz from Spain, Vilga from Poland, Pinkas from Czech Republic, Kubica from Poland, Chisholm from Great Britain, and behind him Tribulkin from Ukraine. Ray from Spain, Toza from Hungary, and Cazzola from Italy make up the top 10. Spain take the lead. Ruiz from Merry. Merry coming up is favoured, wash hang inside. Just coming up this side. Now settle down, relax, let the Spaniard do some work. Unfortunately for these guys, they're both right-handers. So every time they change, they'll have to go around the back. Sporting the black bum bag is 175. From Ukraine, Artem Tribulkin. It's a strong look.
Yeah. It's interesting how boats riding wave like that will sync the paddle strokes. I'm sure with the wave and the way that the shape of the wave changes with each paddle stroke on a seaboat, it makes a lot of efficiency sense to try and, as I say, that they go into an alternating rhythm. Try and synchronize it and actually ride the surge on each wave as it gets created. Great shot down the Reta River. It's about 30 kilometers from here to the
big tall tree you can see on the right there. The athlete's saying that's kind of the visual when you leave here at the start. You can see that big tree, so you know where the turn is right from when you start. When they turn around, they can see the concrete silos opposite us. So it's nice and easy to recognize So again, Ruiz has to drop round the back of Mary to come up his favoured wash hanging side. Life would just be a lot easier for these two if one was left-handed and one was right-handed. Vilga rather, coming across behind them. He's had to duck in behind because the turn's come in. And his turning has been woeful. So hopefully for him, he gets around this one a little bit better.
No urgency as they come into this turn.
These further back, these two. This is Tosa and Ray.
Just rotating the pull.
Tosa and Ray hunting down Tribulkin from Ukraine, who's the paddler in front of them.
Good visual shot of the turn at the bottom. And again, struggling to get that boat to make the tight turn. Back brace, pull the nose around.
Is it that hard? It must be. Czech's doing much better.
Bear in mind there's a current going downstream as well, so you're paddling across that current. It's going to pull you wide of the board.
Well, I think the Czech's going to have caught Vilga by the time he gets around that turn. Chisholm hanging on to Kubica. It's going well for him.
16 second gap. Here we have with 173 the athlete representing Hungary, the nation with so many medals when we talk about Europe.
So there's your top two places. That is a nice view. We haven't had that one yet. As the Spaniard Ruiz tucks in on the tail of Mary from Hungary. Now moving up the left-hand side where he's comfortable wash hanging. Little glance over the shoulder from Mary.
With time of 1:52, so we can see. So sometimes also it's important our contestants on the river.
Terrestrial Mary
Some really fast
hanging on to the lead.
Regarding C1
Ruiz.
we will see, and here we have already Will up 38 meters already behind the current leader representing Hungary.
He's 12 seconds back to the group of Vilga and Pinkas.
Hungary.
From that graphic, it looks like Chisholm may not. Oh, yeah, it's all changing.
Fifth. He's still fifth.
Yeah.
Final decisions. We will crown another 6 world champions. Pinkas heads for the Chisholm already.
And of course, heading up to portage time.
To the current leaders of,
Coming up to the first portage.
Italy, these two athletes will be 184 and will be 100.
Going back to our chat earlier, I don't see any of these athletes carrying a drink system around their necks.
No.
The reigning European champion now on position number 3.
Circling back to the K1 race where one of the athletes dropped a water bottle at the start of the drinking zone, which was trickling dangerously down the ramp towards the water.
Presumably it never went in the water.
I'm assuming that it got stuck somewhere or somebody heard us and scampered off to get it before it hit the drink.
That was the Portuguese girl who won, wasn't it?
Yeah, 15 seconds would have been a mess.
That could have been a bit of a disaster. Okay, Spain take up the lead. We expect the Hungarian to drop round the back of him and come up the left-hand side. That's what they've done every time the lead has changed so far. But maybe not this time. No, he's going to stay on that right side.
Just to explain the penalty system, you don't know until you come into the next portage whether you've copped a penalty or not. There's an electronic board at the takeout which will have your boat number and the number of seconds that you've got to serve. You've then got to run through the portage to the naughty chair, which is at the top.
Yep.
Sit on the side. They start the clock when your boat hits the ground. So you've got to put your boat down. They then start the clock. You serve your 15, 30 seconds, whatever's been allocated to you. You then got to pick up your toys and get moving again. So it costs you a lot more than the time that's been allocated as a penalty.
So Tribulkin has closed down Chisholm and Kubica. There's our leaders.
It's a fine line, this line up the right-hand bank. It definitely avoids the current, but the water does get shallower.
You saw Mary trying to tough it out on the right-hand side of Ruiz for a while there, and then obviously he's conceded that life's just better on the other side. So Ruiz, Mary, Vilga, Pinkas, Tribulkin, Kubica, Chisholm, Toza, Ray and Cazzola. There's your top 10. Outside the top 10, you've got Nanchev.
Tribulkin's picked up a 15-second penalty.
Okay.
Graphic has just popped up on the screen. Let's see if we can unpack what has happened.
Maybe we've got messages. We'll get that information to you.
15-second penalty for missing a boy.
Maybe that's how he closed the gap so much.
Missing a boy, so he'll... Great, having just chatted about how the penalty works, we'll get a first-hand demonstration as they come into this portage.
And all of a sudden, Vilga is back in contention. That is a persistent young man right there. He's been behind. His turning just seems woefully bad compared to the other guys, but when he's on the straight, he's got the boat speed to close it down, and we'll see what he's got at the portage shortly.
Game on.
Hungary, Spain, Poland from right to left.
Unnerving for the other two. They would have thought they had the front of the race wrapped up, and when somebody just arrives in the rear view mirror and suddenly pulls alongside, it does rattle the cage a bit. That's Tribulkin in the black boat of Ukraine, who's about to come into the portage and see his boat number 175 on the penalty board.
There's a lot to deal with that, physically and emotionally, and
bouncing to get the weed off the nose of the boat. And that's one of the rare moments where a seaboat has the benefit of not having a rudder sticking out the bottom.
There's your front three, and still off the back there is Pinkas from Czech Republic.
32 minutes for C1 man junior, 133 minuter.
Alex Vilga having done all the hard work to grind up onto that front, just off the back.
As we said before,
He's making hard work of it for sure. There's the portage in the distance, the green carpeted ramp.
race number 14, C1 man junior, and the winner's presentation, the battle ceremony.
This is time penalty man, Tribulkin, along with Kubica of Poland. So Vilga off the back of these two, a little gap's opening. Mary is making a small break just before the portage, and now we'll see, here comes Kubica, Vilga again, up on Ruiz.
Gregory Mary is going to be leading them into this portage. Hungarian goes to the right. Smooth exit. No mistakes. Up, out and gone. Tips the boat over to empty it.
It's a significant lead he's got there.
This is a break opportunity for the Hungarian. He's got a sniff of it too. I think he can look up into the big screen and in the background see what a lead he's suddenly chiseled for himself, and he's going to try and make this one stick. Oh, and things are going from...
Just made it. Everyone through the drinks lane. Spaniard Ruiz, drink over his neck. While Mary settles into his boat. He's away nicely.
Too early to make the big break here?
I don't think it is. I think he's halfway round. He's comfortable. He's got, what, 10 seconds there? No, maybe not
Ruiz
10.
is being slow on the put-in.
The motivation to chase is not there, is it?
There's no appetite to try and close that gap.
He's got a 10-second gap. Where is the Ukrainian?
That's Toza coming up the ramp.
He's also caught, Toza and Ray have caught Chisholm. Chisholm must have had a bit of a fade in that last quarter of a lap because he was with the Ukrainian, but the Ukrainian should be back with these after this 15-second time penalty.
Up to the top turn.
There's your 10-second gap, and it's Hungary.
The top turn is definitely flatter than the bottom turn.
You can see the boys are out of shape there, can't you?
Just for reference, the river flow overnight does move the boys. They're anchored down to concrete anchors, but they do move under this significant flow of the Neretva River.
There's the Ukrainian. He is exactly back with that group. So he paid his time penalty, and he's back with a group
and
that he left
nicely,
a while ago, but he's still with people. So game on still for him. But there's your leader, Marcel Kerasturi-Meri, currently holding Hungary's first medal of the day. And that is a big gap and getting bigger, I would say. That's way more than 10 seconds now.
Brave decision to go it alone at the beginning of lap 3, but he's probably good enough to make it stick.
He's pulling away stroke by stroke at the moment. Yeah. He looks comfortable.
And the beauty about marathon racing is you're going to get to the turn one, be able to measure how much of a lead you've got, and psychologically just deliver this hammer blow to your opposition as you go past them on the up lap while they are miles down from the turn cam.
Ray looking a little uncomfortable there.
That gap is growing by the second. Kerasturi-Meri not only taking charge of this race, but setting up Hungary for, with a short-term view, a medal to open their account, but to put himself very much on the map. He has a force to be reckoned with in years to come.
Yeah.
Be fascinating to watch him make the conversion into the under-23 ranks and see if he can bark with the big dogs, with the seniors.
Second and third there. Vilga from Ruiz. Poland from Spain.
Alex Vilga, of course, another year as a junior next year, so can look forward to taking full advantage of that. Paddlers going through the short turn cans in a variety of lines.
There's no rules about how they pass those short turn. The only rule on the course seems to be that you can't cross the finish line at any point other than at the finish. So they have to go outside the finish line, boys, on every lap. Beyond that, there's very little complication on the course.
There's just a little asterisk as well when there's a complex race or two races on the water at the same time. As you've gone through the finish line at the end of the race, it's up to you to be beholden to not interfering with anybody at the turn.
Second and third, Vilga and Ruiz. There's your leader, and he's pulling away stroke after stroke.
Not sure how happy Vilga will be about that. Mary's been full value for the lead that he's got.
Yeah.
Vilga, I think, was top of the world after Poznan when he got the C1 and C2 golds. And to suddenly see yourself being handed a lesson like we're seeing on screen here might be a bitter pill to swallow.
Vidimo i sami navedi come Canoe možete pratiti pobjedale su onda takmičari iz Mađarske, to je Marcel Meri, kao što smo rekli, pa sila je Mađarska, pa isto i
This is where your mental strength comes into it as well. And I think as a junior you can learn so much if you've got a senior that you know and respect to mentor you. Because at a time like this, either when you are clearly in total domination of a race to make sure that you keep your head together, but when you find your race plan not working out according to your designs, to be able to keep your mind together so you can make the best of that situation. Mental head game is something which just comes with time, and I think spending time with seniors and people that you respect and whose mental strength you value can teach you a heap.
Yep. So is Kubica closing that gap again now? Not Kubica, Vilga, sorry. Really hard to tell.
It really is hard to tell. He's doing the work.
He's gone out wide again. He enjoys being on his own.
Also, Alex will be competing also next year for 2025 World Championships in Junior.
It's keeping the heat on Alberto Ruiz.
And Ruiz for another year more. Tu ten velikom ekranu sada imate veoma lijepu predstavu gdje su čanci sve se vidi.
Nate Niels at Canada in the shake-up here. Some way back, his whole family flew out to support him. Circles back to what we were saying earlier about how key your family is. But mum, dad, and I think grandparent are out here cheering him on in the stands, all the way from Cameroon.
It looks like Mary has given up the run, and Vilga has closed him down yet again. And that must be immensely frustrating.
That's a
Mary.
huge
I think
effort.
Mary had settled in to leading this race out, and
A couple of minutes ago that lead was 50 meters.
big, yeah. Now it's no distance at all. Looks like Trebulkin has come back past Chisholm in 8th place there. Spaniard on his own now, Ruiz. He was the one with Mary, with Vilga chasing. Now it's the other way round. And I don't think Ruiz has got it in him to close that gap.
That's a big move from Alex Vilga. Lap 3 of this 4-lap race. Marcel Carestri Mary will be coaching himself not to panic. He's been reeled in fairly spectacularly by the pole, but it doesn't mean that all is lost. He's still leading this race. He's still been the dominant character.
All the time there's turns in the race, he's quids in, isn't he? Vilga has been so poor around the turns that he's going to have to catch up another, what, 6 times?
Well, let's see what he does at this bottom turn. If he can come out of this turn still on the wave or in contact, there'd be an opportunity to potentially change the outlook of this race on the up pedal. But it's all going to hinge technically on how he can make this turn. And there in the distance is the bottom turn, which is tighter. It is a smaller, tighter arc than the top turn can. Keresturi Meri, by being the first boat into the turn, has the luxury to pick the line and kind of dictate the options available to anybody on the wave. Just to go through the basics of the game for those watching it, going into a turn, the rules for marathon racing about going into a turn, how tight you can cut a buoy, what you can do to potentially squeeze somebody out, what's legal, what's gentlemanly, what's acceptable conduct.
I think if the bow of the boat inside you is up level with you or in front of you.
Oh, look at Mary's turn. He's just so tight on that turn.
As opposed to Vilga,
who is just swimming
but Mary's
wide.
like looking at him, waiting for him.
He is waiting for him.
He's like, dude, come on. what are you doing?
And there's some conversation going on here.
I need you up here. We need to share the lead. It looks very much to me like Mary thinks, I just want company.
He's letting him back.
He's as confused as everyone else is about how he's so, struggling so much.
Well, Wilga's taken that invitation and is putting to the
it's
front.
Convenient now. We've got opposite siders, so they can just trade leads comfortably for the rest of the journey.
Mary must be planning ahead at some stage to make a break. Does he have the gas to be able to drop Wilga? Wilga's just reeled him in fairly spectacularly quickly. He's been casual about letting him get back in because he wanted him to take up the pull so that he could sit on the wave. But that plan must hinge on a strategy somewhere around the next portage.
His strategy would be in the last 1,000 metres, there's 2 turns. And he knows if he's with him after, even if he's close to him.
We can be together going into that bottom short turn.
Yeah, there's 2 turns on the last lap, and Wilga is just not managing that very well.
The Wilga master stroke would be a tight turn on that bottom turn can of the last short lap.
Yeah.
It would really,
told you I could do it.
It would, I was just playing with you. It was all a game.
Many interesting fights to go
So we're coming up for the second portage.
First of all, we are about to
see some of the athletes still going downstream while these two coming upstream. So our top 10 currently reads Wilga, Mary, Pinkas, Ruiz, Kubica, Tribulkin, Ray, Chisholm and Tota. Cazzola making up that top 10. Outside the top 10, Nanchev, Knowles from Canada, Goosen from Germany, Lambo from Italy, Valenzuela from Chile, and Kawajo from Japan. So Ruiz back now with Pinkas. Again, these two paddling on opposite sides, so a nice convenient pairing.
Pinkas from TJ Lokomotiva Nimburg. One of the many paddlers who stays fit during the winter by cross-country skiing.
Right.
So the European champion.
Portage number 2 coming up.
The gold medal also at the junior.
Tactically an opportunity for Wilga here if he'd like to try and buy a little bit of space going into his bowing turn.
Kids are excited as these two approach the second portage. Wilga from Mary, Poland from Hungary. Wilga's drinks bag all over his arm, under his arm, round his chest. Just looks so uncomfortable, that.
Popustio niz jednu hoću zlato na svetskom prvenstvu. So once again, we don't have any athlete now. We could not say because they are still together. One thing is clear that Ruiz from Spain.
Japanese athlete, top of your shot there. Just heading downstream. And
good effort from Mahiro Kawagoe.
3rd, 4th and 5th all in shot. Kubica making ground on Ruiz and Pinkas.
Last spot on the podium will come from this picture. Mahiro Kawagoe of Japan in the background of the shot a few moments ago. One of the youngsters who's been enticed into paddling, and then you have to make the critical decision up front. Kayak or canoe? kayak looks like the logical choice for many of them.
Yep.
Went into canoe at 16 from Miyazaki. One of the Japanese paddlers I was speaking to, as part of the sport audition when at high school, was offered a bunch of flyers like a deck of cards. Pick one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Picked one, came up with paddling canoe.
Right.
And it's been the best thing that's ever happened. It's been a life changer for him.
5 more kilometers to go.
Portage number 2 coming up for these. Opportunity for a roll of the dice from one of them, because two very contrasting sets of strengths and weaknesses coming into this race. Alex Vilga taking the pull as they go into the second portage. That juice bag that's flapping around his left armpit is empty, so he may well be coming into the feed zone just to
top up.
Fuel up the turbos for the final third of the race.
The Hungarian leads in for portage number 2.
Kerasturi Mary is pulling slightly ahead as they come into the portage takeout.
Still looks like the dominant force.
This is the nervy time in the race. Your mind is racing, you're running through possibilities and options and having to settle on one in the next 5 minutes to sort of play out your end game.
Yeah.
Won't be much chatter going on in that bunch. Often find yourself on a bunch, a competitor bunch, where there's one loudmouth ready to let everybody know what they think and what they should be doing.
I mean, what language would you use here, though? Hungolish or something? What?
Into the portage, and it's very casual.
It is very
could
casual.
Not be more lackadaisical.
Vilga.
No roll of the dice coming
4
here.
or 5 lengths for Vilga. Just almost for lack of interest.
Super casual from the pole. Kerasturi Mary back to the front, looks up, can see on the big screen in front of him. In the background, you can see that the pole is now 10 meters behind him.
Third place now, Pinkas from Czech Republic, ahead of Ruiz from Spain. Pole in no hurry to get back in the boat either.
Gentlemanly put in from both of them.
Easy, Tiger. Off he goes, 4 lengths. Hungarian waiting for him again.
Here's a brave move. Drinking system off the neck and into the boat. Marcel Kerasturi Mary now with the lead as they come up to the top turn can.
So Chisholm, Tribulkin and Ray. Tribulkin first away. Ray just struggling there a little bit, but all the way cleanly, and Chisholm just behind him. All 3 up and running. He's a big lad, the Ukrainian.
I think you kind of know what you get with a Ukrainian or a Polish sea paddle.
There's the turn again. Hungarian going round the buoys. Pole.
The pole taking the scenic route wide.
Going round the bridge nearly.
Kerasturi Mary has got a lead. Hasn't fired the turbos. Got a full lap to go still.
He's
I think he's banking on that final turn.
confused as everyone else about how the turns are playing out here.
I think it's been interesting watching the elite teams training here for the few days before competition started here with the Masters Cup, and rethinking boats that they're using once they've got a feel for the water, and there is such a thing as boat feel, particularly when you're on a river. For somebody who's been paddling and I'm not going to go through the manufacturers, but they've got a favoured boat that they've been training with on their home water, and now suddenly second guessing, should I change back down to a previous generation, slightly different shape model? Would I feel more comfortable? Would I feel more solid in moving water? Would I be more competent in slightly variable conditions?
Definitely seen some people. I think it's not just the moving water, you got the hard concrete sides, this where they are now, so you get the rebound waves as well. You can see them top of your shot coming back towards the paddlers. So yeah, it never really settles to be perfectly still up through the town here.
Vilga doing the hard yards to try and get back into contact after yet another wide turn. Mary's not making it easy. He's not making it easy at all. That's a fairly solid pace going down to the bottom turn.
Something must have happened to Pinkas as well on that, either portage or turn, because he's down in 5th now. He was with Kubica, he was with Ruiz, I think, and now he's behind.
Fair comment coming in through the live stream here. Anti-clockwise turn is easier for a righty than a lefty. Yeah.
I know, I've seen both do tight turns though. Yeah, that might be the fact. I have seen both manage turns a lot better than Vilga is managing the turn.
As we see now, he's still held in the fight for the gold medal between
Alberto Ruiz in the Spanish colors at the front of this bunch. This is where your gold is going to come from. Can Alex Vilga pull a rabbit out of the hat in this short lap turn?
We watched the Czech go around the bottom turn. He's a lefty. He did well. He pulled close to the
True
boys.
Ruiz, Kubica, Pinkas already 50 seconds behind, so it's a fight between Ruiz and Kubica for the first place for Polska. And still
Drone giving us a great perspective shot back to the race for bronze at this stage.
Also trying to get a pass with these athletes fighting for the medals, but once again we will see Mary and Vilga for Macaron, Sanka and Polska.
Hungary v Poland. Long-standing rivalry in seaboat paddling right there.
Same two paddlers locked together as they have been for the last lap or so. We're on the final large lap, so one portage to go.
And then critically two turns in close succession.
The shorter races, some of them will be like 15 minutes long. And once again,
it's asked for predictions from the stream viewers. Who's it going to be from here on in? We really are now just 10 minutes away from seeing the big move and deciding the gold medalist in the C1 Men Juniors. Who's it going to be for you? Marcel Keresturi Murray?
It's got to be the Hungarian for me. Now, Vilga definitely got the speed on the straights, hasn't he? He can make the boat catch up. He's closed down so many times now, but We've also seen the Hungarian look round and wait for him. So,
yep.
You have the current lap, and you have also
I'm predicting a fairy tale final turn from Vilga, and then
more behind, and then we have
a shootout for the line, which I think he's got the gas to be able to pull off.
I think, yeah, maybe if it was a straight drag race to the line, I think Vilga probably.
and then we have position number 7.
Mary was quick away at the start though. So.
Looking at the stroke rate as well, Mary's got a longer stroke. I know he's pulling at the front, but Vilga's definitely got a slightly deeper but a slightly shorter stroke, and it's taking him to the front now. Mary will be happy. This will be a time when he would be more than happy just to wash ride, catch his breath, marshal his thoughts, come up with a plan, because it's just about execution time.
He portages better than the pole, and he turns better than the pole, and the number of long straights is getting less by the minute. So yeah, you've got to fancy the Hungarian really.
He hasn't tried to make the portage stick. There's definitely an opportunity for him to be aggressive and get in there first, and can open a 20.
5 lengths on the portage, another 5 on the turn.
Game
That'd be
changer.
hard to close down on a short lap. That's Ruiz ahead of Kubica. Pincas somewhere just behind those guys.
Pincas looked like he was going to be an assertive figure in the race, certainly for bronze.
Yep.
And has suddenly slipped out of contention. It's been a hot and cold kind of race for him.
Yep. Definitely.
Hungary's Marcel Kerasturi-Mary sitting on the wave, crucially saving a little bit of energy, catching breath.
It is just a journey for them at this stage, isn't it? Going into the turn, let's see what happens. We're all right up to this point, then.
No stroke broken. It's a hard turn from Kerasturi-Mary. Vilga is stopping to draw that boat around with every second or third stroke.
Look at the gap.
See the twist in the blade.
Even if that's the last
there
turn.
we go. It's
if that's the final short lap turn. That's miles.
And it begs the question, what is the difference technically?
Well, I'm not in a position to tell you, but when you watch the Czech go round earlier, it was just a bigger draw at the front end of the stroke. You can see him now in the distance. Oh, we're not going to see him well enough in the distance, but yeah, he manages to stay close to those boys, just steering at the front end of his stroke, whereas the poles appeared to be just steering at the back end.
So this is the upstream lap. You can actually see the flow of the Neretla, and that line where the ripples end about 2/3 of the way across the river is where you can hide away from the current if you stay to the right. It's a gradual left-hand bend as you're going down, so a gradual right as you're heading up, and then suddenly the bridge will come into view, the portage will come into view, and this might be the defining moment of this junior men's C1 race. And if anything, Vilga is taking his foot off the pedal.
It's just back in contention.
There's some cat and mouse. There's some serious cat and mouse going on here at the moment. Calm before the storm time.
So Hungary from Poland, one more portage to go, 2 more turns.
The Hungarian delegation will be excited about a medal of some sort
I think
coming
relieved at this stage.
The Polish colours come to the front now. Very content to slip back onto the wave. Ruiz sitting third, Kubica fourth, and then Pinkas. Chisholm, who's been there or thereabouts, but just
not quite making it stick since that first lap. He had a great first lap.
Blinder first lap.
72 meters behind leaders from Polska and Hungary, but still nothing decided between these two guys. And once again, please get ready for the next start. We will soon start.
He's currently in third position. Graphic at the bottom: Poland, Hungary, Spain, Poland, and Czech.
We haven't had time to really focus on him because he's been so far out of the shot, but the Chilean athlete, Facundo Valenzuela, is going to finish at the back of the pack.
His Japanese behind him.
His Japanese is behind him, but is going to finish certainly within credible distance of the front of the race, and that's great for Chile.
Yeah.
Less than 25 minutes. So in the next 20 minutes we will find out who will be the next world champions of these races.
Brace yourself, I feel a final countdown coming up. Nate Niels of Canada, you'll see on the graphic at the bottom, paddling alongside the German boat. Trains on Shumwe Lake.
Kubica and Pinkas is closed down. Kubica again. The race is on. No, that's not for third place, is it?
That's the front.
Fourth and fifth. This is the front.
This is the front.
Then there's Ruiz somewhere between these two and the two we just saw, Kubica and Pinkas.
Gives you a perspective when you complete that gradual, gentle right-hand turn. You see the silos. You can hear the noise from the PA. You know you're getting close to action central at the portage.
Final portage. If everything goes to the same plan as all the others, we'll see the Hungarian move ahead of the pole just on the entrance to the portage and then run away, gain about 5-6 lengths.
Taking stock of those facts, the problems on the turn, the slowness on the portage, this is the time, if Vilger is going to change this race, it's got to happen on this portage.
On the water.
It's got to happen with an aggressive move going into the portage. He's got to do something Herculean on the portage to be able to put in, ideally with a small lead, give himself a bit of a buffer to manage that turn as best he can. He'll probably concede whatever lead he makes on the portage on the turn, but at least he'll be within striking distance. If he loses contact by the end of the turn at the top, it's good night, nurse.
It's all over. Yeah. I don't think Mary's even that bothered about him if he catches up before the final turn. You've got 5 lengths, haven't you, before the... Yeah, it's a long way. So Vilga, Mary, Ruiz, Pinkas, Kubica, Chisholm, Trebulkin, Ray, Tosa, Nanchev, Noyes, Goosen, Lambo, Valenzuela, and Caujo.
Final portage looming large in this race. Wobble from the pole. There's clearly some weed stuck on that boat. He's trying to shake it loose on the nose.
Hungarian does take the lead coming into the portage. Hungary from Poland. Love to see how close they are. Still a little way to go.
There's the vehicles of the team buses in the background, so you know you're getting close. There's the finish line on your top right hand of the screen. So the portage is literally 30 seconds away now.
Mary putting in a bit of a spurt here, hoping to open a gap, I think, before the portage this time, or maybe just to get there first. He just seems a little motivated. And Vilga struggling with the steering again. Here we go.
Portage time. And Keresuri Murray is going right and has taken charge of this race. He's going to be first out by some way. Can the pole pull something out of the hat on this one? The boat starts drifting away from him. He grabs it, but he's conceded 10 meters at the start of the portage. Keresuri Murray now holding all the cards. Is he going to hammer the nail into the coffin here, or is he going to let him resettle and bank on a gap at the turns?
Pole is running super hard there. They're proper running strides. He's not mucking about. He hasn't lost any more.
He's not closing.
Bit more urgency from the Hungarian this time. Away he goes. Pole's going to be 3-4 lengths behind him. And the next thing we've got is a turn.
The Hungarian is not sticking around.
And through comes Ruiz.
Remember, we've got just one short lap now, but crucially 2 turns.
So here we go. Vilga must be approaching that turn with absolute dread. He knows now that he's going to come out further behind than he went in.
Let's get a measure as they go around that first can. On boat length. 2 boat lengths. 2 boat lengths as they go into the turn. Let's measure it as they come out. Keresuri Murray. He's keeping it really tight. The pole's doing his best to hang around that first turn can. It's not a bad turn at all from the pole, but 2 boat lengths as they come around to the final turn can has now become 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5.
Yeah. Mary working hard now. One more turn.
Was that little smile I saw on his face?
Could have been wind.
It's a short lap now. The Hungarian cowbells are out. The supporters can sniff gold in the air here in Metkovic.
I think that gap will close by the bottom turn, but then it will open up to be exactly where we are now, and they've only got to get back. You can see the bottom turn there.
All the pressure now on Alex Vilga. He's throwing everything and the kitchen sink at it, but he's not closing enough going into that turn. And as Ivan says, even if he does somehow miraculously manage to erase that deficit going into the turn, he's probably going to leak it as they pivot for the last time and square up to the finish line.
Keresuri Murray is moving well now. He sensed victory. There's his final turn. That turn's worth at least 3 lengths to Murray.
And he's under no pressure going into it.
Vilga working super hard.
Into the bottom turn can on the short lap.
Great view of the turn. Mary close to every one of those boys.
Nailing it. Absolutely nailing his lines into that.
So too is Vilga on this one.
This is the tight one at the bottom. Vilga's a little wide at the third buoy.
There we go.
And he's wide at the fourth. He's having to rechannel some of that energy of the stroke into hauling the boat back online. And the door is now wide open for Hungary to open their account with a gold medal in the junior boys C1.
Every pull now is a pull closer to home. He is going up the middle of the river a little bit more than we saw the girls doing this morning, and Vilga is coming in towards the edge, maybe sensing that might be his only chance.
40 kilometers per hour to Marcel Mary.
But he can see the finish line in front of him now. That peripheral vision we talked about earlier. He looked over his right shoulder just to get a quick look. Where is the pole? Is there a serious threat here? Suddenly the pain is gone. It doesn't hurt anymore when you can see the finish line in front.
It's still hurting at this stage. There's the gap. The pole is doing the right thing. He's come closer to the edge. He's going to have to go out for the finish funnel, and he's just going to run out of time. You can see him heading out there now. The distance is going to be that 5 lengths. And Hungary win their first gold of the day.
There was a game plan formulated by Marcel Keresturi-Mary after that first portage, when he saw what he had to his advantage and how he could use those to win the race. And he paced his race and managed his race
Vilga's given up the chase now.
He has. He's been outsmarted on the water. Probably a match pound for pound over a fixed straight distance. But he's been outsmarted on the water and certainly outsmarted on the turns. And down to the finish line comes Marcel Keresturi-Mary to bag gold for Hungary. The reality is just suddenly sinking in on the young man. And into second place comes Poland's Alex Vilga. It's been an absorbing race. It's been a contrasting race.
That's quite a lot to in and fro in. Vilga caught up so many times. That has a cost to it. And the turns just never got any easier for him. So we're looking at Ruiz somewhere out there in third place.
Looking forward to hearing from these two. I'm hoping that Stefan can corral them both at the same time just to get their views on it.
Here comes Ruiz for third.
Alberto Ruiz.
So Hungary, Poland, Spain. They are the 3 big canoe nations in the marathon. There's no doubt. He was second for a long time. Looks like he feels he could have done a bit more today. Just behind him, Pinkas. He also had his moments where he came through, he did well.
Good banter between these two. Hopefully we're seeing on the water today the start of a rivalry that will extend into under 23 and senior years. There's a camaraderie and a friendship which is born on the water here, and I know on the banks and in the hotels afterwards, which...
Kubica next across the line. 4th last year, 5th this year. Chisholm across the line already. We didn't see him on screen. This is Ray, who's one behind Chisholm. So Chisholm in 6th, Ray in 7th. I would say that's a pretty good day for Great Britain's canoe paddler. He'd be pretty pleased with that. His first lap was quality.
Ike Ray bringing home another solid result for Spain.
7th place to Spain.
2 out of the top 7. 2 Poles, 2 Spanish.
took 6th position, and Ray takes 7th position. The 7th position for Spain, and we're still waiting for Linus Gosse, Marco Tribulki, Gabriele Cazzola.
Then it's the Hungarian Tosa.
Gabriela Cazzola.
We missed Tribulkin, the Ukrainian. He was across the line in front of the Hungarian.
Despite the penalty, that's a good comeback.
Yeah.
Position for Tosa, 9th position for Hungary,
Gabriele Cazzola, the Italian.
Will cross the finish line.
Leaving it all out on the
He's
water.
lost his tracker, so he's not on the track. He's always at the bottom of the track in 16th position, but he's clearly the next one across the line here.
He's 40 meters down and stationary.
Cazzola from Italy.
Strong finish.
Kao što smo sad već navikli suco na startu, a tu ide Cazzola za Italiju, but here enters the finish line for Italy. Cazzola, but the world champion is Marcel Meri with a wonderful time of 1:15. That
Forza Italia.
The river Nerepa, healthy athletes with a wonderful time, 1:15.20.
So crucially, the Hungarian account is open. They'll certainly hope that's going to be a change of fortune for the remainder of the week.
It will be a bit of relief, I'm sure.
Time to stretch forward and switch off your Garmin at the end of the race. For those that like to paddle with a Garmin on the boat, to beep and yell at you.
It's just, yeah, I don't understand that. I know everyone does it.
Back in your century?
I wouldn't do it in this century. It just tells you how slow you're going. That's all it does. Facing you now going, you're slowing down. You know that, don't you? You do know you're slowing down. You keep slowing down. Can you stop slowing down?
You can set up voice prompts. You completed the last kilometer in 13 seconds slower than the previous.
The Bulgarian across the line there. Strong at the start, faded slightly towards the end. That's Nanchev from Bulgaria. Goosen from Germany. Never really figured up the sharp end.
It'll be his last year as a junior as well.
We've got a bit of short course action coming up after this, Dave, with the C1s, men and women, C1 short course, before we get back to the K1 short course finals. A lot of excitement to come. 4 more sets of medals after this race today.
Yeah, and really licking my lips for those short course finals. I think we're in for a treat. And the good news for those that have been following the weather developments here in Croatia is that It all seems to have gone away. The rain has stopped. There's no wind. It's turning out to be a beautiful afternoon. So hopefully that is bad weather be gone for the remainder of this competition.
Carlos Lambo, the second of the two Italians.
Marina Martina, España, 194, 194, Nerea Novo, España. Sobre esto debería ser Tibet, 195, Sankar Francis Selina Uwe, with number 196, sobre esto debería ser Cescuda, 96, Kanete Wehrmann aus Deutschland, 197, esto debería ser Tiselan, Sark, Kilatzvani, Sofia Tischban, Majarorsa, Saskilatzven, News, Lili Metkovic, Majarorsa, numero 199.
Athletes that have finished at the sharp end of the race, the first 4 get pulled off to boat control. It's not what you want as top priority once you've won a world championship. I think everybody wants to get to their phone and speak to mum, dad, or the girlfriend, or whatever the priority ranking is. But their priority is boat control first and foremost. Gets weighed to make sure that they pass all the scrutineering. Then hauled off to Stefan, who's eagerly awaiting his microphone to try and get the inside scoop on what the race was like. And then it's time to head back and chest pump and high five and phone the families.